Okay, take three, because this video is impossible to get through because the guy is a globalist who has power in America, but he literally has power in another country too, de jure as well as de facto, which is the one thing I don't understand, or perhaps I understand all too well about American politics, is how you allow people who are citizens of another nation to rule your nation. It seems like they're just like puppets holding the strings on their fingers, moving the puppets around, puppet masters moving these puppets around from another country. It's bizarre to me that most Americans don't wake up to this. Like, oh yeah, we shouldn't have dual citizens in political positions of power, or many other positions. It's like, if you got to pick one country or the other. We shouldn't have dual citizens at all. That's, I mean, I'd go. That's not a threat. I meant legally, you should have to pick a nation. You have to go to that other nation where you have citizenship. You can't have people in America who are not really, who have a fallback country, because we don't have fallback countries. Maybe if you're Irish, you have there's a right of return to Ireland, I think, if you're a certain percentage. But the rest of us mostly don't have a right of return anywhere. So when America falls, and it is, and it will, absolutely will, we have no fallback country to go to. I mean, that's why I keep talking about the Greater Idaho Project. Maybe move it in a more base direction. Idaho, Oregon. Try to take that for a reserve, a reservation for the preservation of the people of the light. Anyway, anything. This is the third time I try to make this video because I just cannot keep between the navigational guidelines because YouTube is rough. So this Pritzker, is that his name? Pritzker, Israeli guy, dual citizen, who's also $3.5 billion, and he's got positions of power in America, which just blows my tits off that would be legal. It seems like an obvious conflict of interests. Perhaps the tendency to breach that fiduciary duty of trust to the people would be too great. But America doesn't run American politics. It's not China, it's not Russia. Israel runs American politics. It's like, they'll kick you off social media for saying that, but they won't kick you off for saying it's Russia or China. Like, that's A-okay, but to mention that other little country is not so A-okay. Anyway, so $300,000 for the woohoo relief funds magically got funneled, probably up somebody's nose, or into property somewhere. It went to BLM chapter. Soros gave $250 million, and Bank of America gave $1 billion. Nobody ever asks, so where did that money go? How does that help the black family that was decimated in 1965, creation of the welfare state and Hart-Celler Act? How does that help the black family? How does that help black fathers go back in the home? Because that's the number one issue, and that's the number two issue too. I mean, that's the critical, most primary issue of the Black Lives Matter episode. You have black males causing these Malamunsay acts that result in the state making contact with poor results, which later cause rioting and all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, so what's the core of that? Oh, well, it's jobs. Well, no, because this doesn't happen across demographics at the equal financial level. It's at one specific group. It's so what's the commonality they have? Oh, they don't have fathers in the home. In fact, most people in prison don't have fathers in the home, which is why fatherhood is really important, which is why the globalists knew they had to destroy it in the 60s. And they did. The whole American experiment, that ship sailed. That ship has sailed. The best you can do now is get really based really fast. I mean, really based. Like, off the hook. Where you need a telescope to look to the left and see MAGA. Anyway, probably too bad for YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys all on Odysee, Bit Chute. Support me on Coffee or the various other links, and you can get. We'll talk more on those other links.